welcome back to Eduvarate Kids training session. And today we are going to discuss on teaching schedules for the preschool children and in a preschool setup. Since we have already discussed the curriculum, syllabus, pedagogy, all these things, now teaching schedule becomes very important aspects in all these things. When children, they come to a preschool setup, and the responsibility of the preschools are to improve the regular skills as well as developmental milestones. Therefore, the teaching schedule should include all these things systematically so that we should not miss out either a developmental milestone or the curricular skill improvement of the child. So from this slide, we have to discuss the structured way of including the teaching schedule from the established curriculum, syllabus and pedagogy. Now, in our previous sessions, we discussed about curriculum, we discussed about syllabus, pedagogy, and today we are discussing about teaching schedule. Now, just to recall and understand these things once again, curriculum is the biggest umbrella that what are the things we try to include into the preschool teaching plans that are included in curriculum. Syllabus is subset of curriculum. We go one step down to define what should be included under each components of this curriculum. Pedagogy are the techniques, how we'll be inculcating those syllabus into the teaching schedule. And teaching schedule finally is the blueprint of the execution of all the plannings that we make, bring them to the classroom so that each and everything can be brought for the benefit of the children. So this is the whole process we have been already discussed, and today definitely we are going to discuss in details about the teaching schedule and how we can bring those teaching schedules systematically in our preschool setup. Now, as we have already discussed, teaching schedule is the final execution blueprint for all these three technical things that we have already discussed. First one is the curriculum, second one is the syllabus, and third one is the pedagogy. So all these three things interact with each other because syllabus is derived from curriculum and pedagogy is the technique of implementing the syllabus. So all these three things interact each other to define the teaching schedule. Therefore, the teaching schedule are the minute details of the teaching and skill building activities designed for each week that can be done in the school. Basically, bringing this teaching schedule can be daily, can be weekly, can be fortnightly, can be monthly. But daily, it will be little difficult to stick to a kind of a routine. Then it becomes a little tough for the teachers to adopt those things. And fortnight and 1 month will be little bigger time to stick to some of these things and to achieve something. Therefore, it is always better to have a weekly schedule so that there will be autonomy for the teacher, there will be a little bit of freedom for the teacher, and there will also be a structured process in place so that everything can be managed quite well. Therefore, Eduvarate Kids always promote and advise to have a teaching schedule which is weekly in nature. Therefore, the teaching effectiveness will be much better. Now, what kind of this teaching schedule be designed and implemented in the school? If you follow Eduvarate Kids research program, and based on that research, whatever we have identified that we have already discussed, there are 5 major skills we are talking in curriculum, and we have already discussed in syllabus 4 soft skills under each 5 top skills, and we have already discussed 4 pedagogy components. So this teaching schedule we are bringing here, we call it 5 into 4 into 4 matrix. This 5 into 4 into 4 are 5 are curricular skills that you can see It's for language communication skill is the first skill. Second one is the cognitive skill. Third one is the social and emotional skill. Fourth one is the environmental skill. And fifth one is the movement and physical skill, which includes both gross as well as fine motor skills. Now, four sub-skills under each skill we have already discussed. There are 4 sub-skills and 4 pedagogy components that anyway we have already discussed. And this 5x4x4 matrix can be implemented for each and every class. This can be implemented for each week, for playgroup, for nursery, for LKG as well as for UKG. Now, this is the whole mechanism through which we have to define and design for every week's teaching schedule, so that it becomes easy for the teacher to follow that teaching schedule and ensure that each and every component of the skill is taken into account while we bring various activities, various skill development methods to our children for the preschool years. Now, going ahead with this 5x4x4 matrix, what we have done, the first skill is language and communication skill. As we have already discussed that 4 sub-skills under language communication skill are listening skill is one sub-skill, speaking is another sub-skill, reading is one sub-skill, and finally writing is one sub-skill under language and communication. And pedagogical components are learning objects and learning objectives. Then books and page number, because we should have a set of books and other teaching aids which can be referred while we are just looking to that particular objective. Then activity number. If activity numbers are mapped to that particular objective and all the activities those are taken into the class are numbered, then it will be easy for the teachers to refer them quite easily. And additional activities, as we have already aware that preschool skill building is all about activity based, which is defined by Maria Montessori, and that's what is more important, learning through various activities, learning through various games. Therefore, additional activities that can be designed based on the cultural needs, based on the linguistic preferences, based on the different areas. So based on that, additional activities can be designed. That is the prerogative of the teachers. They may define whatever they feel that will be useful for the children. But these 4 components remain as the pedagogical components. So these 4 against the 4 sub-skills of the language and communication skill that makes 4x4 matrix. So we have to define every week what should be brought into the teaching schedule for that week under each component. Learning objective for listening, learning objective for speaking, learning objective for reading, and so also for writing. So against that, we have to see that which page number of the book, which is the activity number, what kind of additional activities. If everything can be put into this matrix, then it will be very easy for the teachers to design a kind of structured way of taking the child into the whole system. Another benefit what happens for the children, if everything is done on a systematic way, then children becomes used to this kind of structured way of learning. So they also stick to this kind of basic things which is being inculcated into their mind. So this is for language communication skill. Similarly, if you look to the cognitive skill development, we have got 4 sub-skills under cognitive skill development. The recitation of the sequential numbers, then identification of the numbers, counting and writing of various number system, then exploring these numbers and other attributes related to logical sequence, related to problem solving. All these things comes under this 4 sub-skills. As per the definition and research done by Eduvarate Kids, we are suggesting this should be 4 subsets of cognitive skill development. Again, curricular components remains the same: learning objectives, books and page number related to that particular sub-skill, activity number that is planned for this particular sub-skill, and additional activities that can be introduced based on the local requirements by the school for the particular class. So this becomes 4x4 matrix for cognitive skill, and teachers, they need to do that for each and every week. If you want any kind of support based on Eduvarate Kids teaching schedule, Eduvarate Kids has already designed, defined and published these things for the benefit of the preschools. Please do let us know if you need any support related to each week's teaching schedule related to particular skill. Going further, third skill is social and emotional skills. Under this, we have defined social independence is the first soft skill. Second one is social interaction skills. Third one is social cooperation skills. And fourth one is problem behavior. Things to be managed quite well under the social and emotional skill for the children. The pedagogical components remain same. Learning objective, books and page number related to that particular skill that we are just talking about. Activities that needs to be taken for each skill for that particular class, and so also the additional activities. So those things has to be done, and if teachers are well aware about the skill building process and the amount of curricular things designed for a particular class, particular age, then designing this kind of template will not at all be any difficult for the teachers. And believe me, if you are able to do this exercise, putting this 4x4 matrix for each and every skill, then you will be one of the fantastic teacher for the preschool years and developing children's skill in a most effective way. Similarly, environmental skills, we have defined at Eduvarate Kids these 4 soft skills for environmental skill. One is human environment, and details we have already discussed in our syllabus. Physical environment, plant world and animal world. So these 4 soft skills has to be kept in the weekly teaching schedule. And pedagogical components are learning objective, books and page number, activity number and additional activities related to those things. It may happen in some week you may have something related to human environment, rest of the things may kept as blank because you have not put anything to have those things coming into the teaching schedule of that particular week. But whatever is designed, those things, those space, those cells will be filled up, rest of the things may be left blank. That means nothing for that particular learning objective related to soft skill is not planned in that particular week. Finally, we are going to the last skill, which is movement and physical skill, taking care of gross motor skills and fine motor skills. Under that, we have defined 4 sub skills as dancing, which is gross motor skill, basically various acting and various activities that is done by the children related to the syllabus and other things that is already we have discussed in syllabus. Drawing, tracing, they take care of the fine motor skills, so also the coloring and painting. So these are the 4 soft skills, are very fantastic and very useful activities, and most of the children, they love to have those activities. Again, when we are doing all these activities, we have to link them to our learning objective, which are the book page number and what are the activities. Those things will also be attached and linked to this, so that it becomes very easy for the teachers to follow them. And additional activities has to be also defined. But important thing here to remember is that every bit of things we do in the preschool years must be linking to the learning objective. If some of the activities, games, anything that is being done in the school, if it is not related to one of the skill development objectives, then it not become a kind of skillful activities. It will be basically a normal activity which we may not be aware that which skill of the child is getting improved by involving that particular activity. So that's why it is very important to link the objectives to a particular activity that we are just doing in the school. So these are the templates of weekly teaching schedule, and those things each and every teacher, parents, all the other people who are supporting for the skill development of the children, they can do it by themselves based on the kind of curriculum or syllabus they are trying to follow. But if you need any support from EduBharat Kids, please do let us know. Please do write to us. Please do connect us so that we may support you in building this weekly schedule for you based on the curriculum and syllabus you design. Or if you want that EduBharat Kids will help you designing a new curriculum, new syllabus, new technique, that also you can do. Or existing thing, whatever EduBharat Kids has already supporting more than 200 schools in India, we can further provide you support to extending this support to your school in managing your weekly schedule, covering a whole syllabus, additional activities and evaluation. Those things are very, very important. Now, these are the things we have already talked about weekly teaching schedule. But one more thing we'll just discuss about the process of taking this skill building process. Although we have covered everything into weekly syllabus, but still the evaluation plans are very, very important. And in our next session, we'll be talking more detailed about the evaluation process of the skill building activities of the children in the preschool years. Evaluation process is important. We'll discuss in details in our next session. Up to that time, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your attentive listening. I'm sure this lecture will be helping you to design your own weekly schedule to make sure children are benefited to the maximum extent. So thank you so much and looking forward to meet you in our next session.